Hello and welcome to Not Without My Sister, where today we're going to be getting very insulted as we read the assumptions that people sent in when I asked them, what assumptions do you have about us?
Are we really? Are they negative? Why do people think that assumptions need to be negative?
No, Beatrice, not all of them are negative. We're going to get to it. Have you ever watched any of these videos on the like assumptions about me on YouTube or whatever?
No, Rosemary, I don't watch YouTube.
You're missing everything. Listen, here's a nice one. You get on wonderfully and are best friends and laugh all the time.
Oh, that's nice when we see each other.
Yeah, but is that true?
Yeah.
We don't get on wonderfully all the time.
Yes, we do.
Most of the time.
When you lived here, when you moved out with Brandon during COVID, we had a couple of rows over like COVID rules, but so who didn't? That was it.
That was stressful.
Yeah, that was it. The rest of the time we get on great.
Remember when I lived there? That was great. Beatrice always does the washing up before Rosemary does.
True.
Okay, when I lived in your house, I basically treated you like my mother. So, like my 50s mother. So that was probably true. Would you ever go to bed with the washing up needing to be done and do it the next day?
No, I would not. Would you?
So, no, neither would I.
Yeah, of course I would. I did last night.
Oh, okay.
But I left it there because I forgot. I said to Don, I'll do it. But I also said to you, I'll pod. And then I went up. I was exhausted. But
you
listen,
didn't do either of those things you said you'd do.
Listen, I've got 4 kids and I'm exhausted. Do you have 4 kids? You don't. You have 3. So I'm tireder than you. So
three kids
if you take that tiredness into the equation, I've got long COVID. If you take that tiredness into the equation, and I'm tired listening to you with your COVID. So if you take that tiredness into the equation, I would say, no, I do more cleaning than you do. Because I do more cooking than you do without more kids to feed more frequently.
Oh, sorry. There was actually one about cooking. Let me find it now. Hang on.
Actually, no. Anyway, that's not true. I do the dishes more. You do the dishes more, but also, actually, you never cook. So you throw the takeaway in the bin.
No.
You do cook. You do cook, and your bolognese was delicious last week.
Oh my God, I've made some epic failure meals lately. I made pork chop in the air fryer that was literally like... It was like trying to eat one of those like bouncy rubber balls. And I also made some kind of chicken nuggets in the air fryer that Finn said, why does this taste like paper? Oh. And I said, why are you eating paper? Dope. But I didn't. I actually went. I was like, it doesn't. It's delicious.
Oh, such a good parent.
Definitely get the impression that B is a kitchen wizard and can whip anything up in a matter of minutes.
Oh my God, I can. Whether it tastes good or not, now that's another question.
Oh, I think most of your things taste good. I think you're a very good cook.
Only last night I had the stupidity to put the lasagna in at 425 degrees when obviously it goes in at 315 and it came out a charred remnant, a shell of itself. And then I forced the children to eat it and said things like, this is delicious, that crunchy bit is deliberate. And they all complained.
And was it not? It was not delicious, was it not?
It was grand. I did contemplate throwing it out after half it was eaten. And then I was like, no, I'll just put it in the freezer.
I tried
freeze lasagna. It's great.
I tried to make Don's mashed potatoes one day and I added like a whole load of milk, a whole load of butter, and then I blended them to shit with the hand blender and they literally were like, it was like trying to eat wallpaper paste. And I fed it to the kids and myself and Brandon said things like, it's creamed mashed potato, they're creamed. And they were like, this is not nice. It was revolting.
That's bizarre. Would I say I'm a kitchen wizard? No, I'd say I'm grand. I'm all right.
I'd say you're very capable in the kitchen. So this is an interesting one that you're going to love. B is easygoing and a tiny bit conservative.
Oh.
Or is a bit stressy and then in inverted commas woke and open about sex, etc.
I don't understand how you can be conservative and woke.
No, you're conservative. I'm woke.
Oh.
This is their assumption.
Where's the Rosemary part? You said and woke.
I said B is easygoing and a tiny bit conservative. R is a bit stressy.
Oh, R. Rosemary, you'll never get a job on RTE. R. I thought you were saying or.
Oh, sorry. Or R. R for Rosemary. Is a bit stressy.
Yeah.
Quote unquote woke and open about sex, etc. But what I think is interesting is the way they put woke in inverted commas. I feel like this is a person who doesn't agree, who thinks being woke is stupid. And that's why they put it in inverted commas.
Or it's just a new usage of the word and people aren't fully comfortable with using it yet. Maybe it also is like because you do sleep a lot. They're just not sure if you're awake. I do think you're a bit stressy. Am I conservative? I don't think I'm conservative. I just get a bit mortified.
No, I don't think you're conservative. I think you're a bit prudish sometimes about talking about things that are to do with yourself. You know what I mean?
Excuse me, prudish with an audience. If I wasn't on a podcast, I'd have these conversations with you.
With me, but
right?
Like, not with anyone else.
Oh, no, with you, with Don, with my friends, but like not with anybody else.
No, I suppose you're more private than or like more reserved, I would say, than I am publicly.
Yeah, I don't know if conservative is well, maybe there are moments. I don't know though. I don't really care that much what other people think or do. Like I wouldn't say I'm trying to like keep up with the Joneses, because I think there's an element of that to conservatism. Like it's about, having the right house and the right decor I wouldn't say that's me, but I could be wrong. But definitely reserved. But I also I'm very conscious that people at work, etc., listen to this. Not a ton of people, not to be giving myself a big head at all. I think people have listened to an episode or two and then probably never got this far. But
yeah, and listen, also having recorded episodes with you,
I'm aware of that too.
I think sometimes you're aware that people at work might listen, and then other times you forget. And sometimes you say things where I'm like,
totally forget.
Did you want to say that?
And thanks, and you keep that to yourself. I've noticed. Are you a bit stressy? I'd say that's an element of I'd say that's all related to a bit of depression, all those things. I think that you're hard on yourself, which makes you stress.
I think I'm a little bit high strung sometimes. So that feels accurate to me.
I think you have relaxed a lot just out of necessity. I don't think out of anything that you've done, your life has adapted and your life has changed in a way that has forced you to, in a way reprioritize some of these things that you just can't be. You can't have the same control over things that you would have had in the past.
No, just everything.
That's true for everybody.
Everything has slowed down, I think, in my life.
That's true for everybody too, isn't it? I think for everybody going through COVID and everything, we kind of realized, we actually control is a figment of our imagination.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I used to love that feeling like I had everything planned out and knew exactly what was going to happen when.
Yeah, that's definitely you and I'm not that.
Here's another one. Beatrice eats gross sandwiches.
Delicious tuna sandwich. I refute that. I mean, it's probably the only gross sandwich I eat. Everything else is incredibly cautious.
Oh yeah, but once you but that's just such a gross combination. The tapenade and the tuna. I don't even know how you tasted that.
You ate it in the back garden. You said it was delicious.
Don't remember that.
Oh, you're so annoying. I made it at the back of the French bread with the olive oil and the arugula, and you were like, "This is delicious."
Arugula. Rocket. Get off it, would you?
Rocket with the rocket.
Okay, here are two that are basically the same. You're both super confident, and someone else said, you both seem really confident. What gives you that confidence? Which I feel like nobody's asking Emily Ratajkowski what gives her confidence. I'm confident because I'm a ride. Why are you confident?
Good one. What gives you confidence? I don't know. I think the fact that I'm sitting in a room just looking at my sister makes me confident.
No, but right? I think in general, I think you're confident professionally. I think you're confident as a mom. As a person, I don't think you're super confident really.
I think, thanks a lot. I think as a profession, but I think years of practice has made me confident. I think living in America has made me more confident, right? Because being in America, just from the age of 0, they are all, not to overgeneralize, but I think this is a true generalization. They are all trained. The expectation is you're going to be able to stand up and speak ad nauseum with little to no information, intelligence, or facts to back you up, and you should still be able to speak for a good 30 minutes and at the end
and
sit
make
down
it sound like you know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's show and tell. Mm-hmm. They start them so early.
You're
all
right.
These things that we don't have.
You're right. So what gives you confidence, Rosemary? Because you didn't live in America for all that long.
Sorry, I already answered that. My being a supermodel ride.
Oh yeah, okay, sorry.
It's easy to be confident when you look like this, Beatrice. I'm really glad I'm recording this actually because I looking top notch today.
Stunning.
So this one I think actually means something. Okay, well, I'll read it. B is a cat person and Rosemary is a dog person.
Hold on a second. Let's go back to the what? I do think that to some extent our parents made us confident. Not mom's, maybe she's not that confident. But I think that dad never, ever, ever gave me any reason to question whether or not my opinion and my thoughts were not as valid as everybody else's. And I think they always engage. I'm sure lots of parents do that. But I do think that, like, when I say things like, don't suffer fools, I really need to work better on this. Like, I feel like maybe I don't suffer fools gladly. And Dad goes, and why should you? So, I mean, maybe he didn't teach it to us, but I think maybe some of his own confidence or I don't know if it's confidence as much as like self confidence. You know what I mean? That there's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
level of like self assurance. And I think
Self-assuredness. Yeah.
that, yeah, I think maybe that rubbed off on us a bit, because I don't feel like there's anything lesser in my thinking or education or anything than anybody else. And I do think that, like, especially in America, there's not a lot of, I think that there's a huge amount of, like, it's elitism, and like also in Britain, like it's not so obvious in Ireland, but it's still like classism is there, And
Mm-hmm.
I think that our family was quite liberal in their approach to that. Like, they never addressed or acknowledged or engaged in that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I thought it was very, very normal, but I look back now and, like, we were very artistic, musical, kind of semi-bohemian family for the generations that they were, like our
Yeah.
grandparents, etc.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
very, like, there was a great expectation of equality in a way that I don't, I was shocked to not see in my friends' families as I grew up.
Yeah.
So I think that that's part of it too, to like answer quite seriously.
B is a cat person and Rosemary is a dog person.
I'd much prefer. Do I much prefer dogs?
No, Beatrice, you're misunderstanding. This person isn't really saying that you prefer cats and I prefer dogs. They're saying is, I'm a lovely, friendly, welcoming, warm person and you are a bitch. You are a cat
Oh,
person and I am a dog person. I'm a
oh yeah, I could
simpleton
see that.
who wants to be friends with everyone and you are an aloof cow.
Or you could look at it the other way around. Like, cat people love all cats. Dog people are specific and only like their own breed of dog. Like, if you make a pattern, for example, at Vera Bradley with all cats on it, you can put any breed of cat and a cat person will buy that, because cat people just love cats. So they're loving and generally loving, whereas dog people are snobbish arseholes who only love their own dog. So you could look at it that way as well. Because that's true. Because if you do a dog pattern, you must have, they'll complain
Their
like, why
breed.
was my
Yeah.
dog not on this? Yeah. Whereas cat people just go, cats, meow.
So cat people are simpletons and dog people are
No,
refined.
cat people are all loving and very inclusive, whereas dog people are exclusive arseholes.
It's an interesting interpretation that I think only a cat person would come to. Um, okay, here's one that really annoyed me. Rosemary knows parenting is harder now she is a full-time parent. A, I'm not a fucking full-time parent. I have a job.
What? You're a
She's a
full-time
full-time
parent.
parent.
Rosemary, we're all fucking full-time
Oh,
parents.
I thought that meant like she's a stay-at-home parent. Okay. But
Oh,
anyway,
but even if you are a
sorry.
stay-at-home parent, you are a stay-at-home parent and you do other things as well.
Sorry, but I've also never thought that parenting was easy. I
You
think
did think it was easy. You totally told me this was pimpsy. At one point, I called you up
pimpsy. I would
crying.
never use the
Yeah,
word
you called
pimpsy.
me up crying because I was traveling to Asia when Nash was born. I was traveling to Asia 3 weeks out of the month, every second month. And I was like, and you were telling me I remember we had an argument about this actually. And you were telling me I needed to eat and I couldn't, like, couldn't control my diet and all this. And you were like, it's just a choice. You just need to make a choice. Do you remember that? And I said, I haven't got the time and I want you to, like, stop writing stuff that is so kind of patronizing. Actually, you know what? I think we were both wrong in this conversation though, because I read an article this weekend I think it was on The Guardian, a really bitchy woman hating article by another woman about Nicole Kidman. It said like, and I was like, this
I
is a
read it
really
too.
bad article, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And like, the point is not invalid. Like, this isn't attainable for everybody else. So what? This is her job and her choice. Like, you don't get to just tell her she looks like shit and this is not okay for her. So I think there was a two-way street. I was just feeling shit and tired and like taking offense at the fact that you were thinking that this was just something, this is just, you were doing a mom. It's just a choice. It's your choice not to work out, because you kept going, just get up early, just do this, just do that, just eat more healthily, just choose to cook. I spend all Sunday cooking. And I was like, so I do think you know that it's harder now, but I don't actually think you ever used the word pimpsy. You might have just said super simple.
I I regret bringing that up. This seems an excellent time to say, here's one. Beatrice thinks she is far superior to Rosemary.
Oh,
And then she said, and I know Beatrice will say, but Rosemary, I am far superior to you.
oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Well,
Do
do
they
you think
mean
you're
that?
superior to me? Well,
I mean, yeah, but it's not your fault. Like,
they put in a laughing emoji, so maybe they meant it like in jest.
no, I don't actually. And sometimes I think that I'm way too, and I've said this to you, I think that I haven't stopped doing it but at least as a modicum of self-awareness here. I haven't modified the behavior, but like, what do they say? Like, acceptance is the first step. You know, I have said to you, like, I'm way too free in telling you what I think, like, you could do better, etc. But I think that's because I'm your older sister.
It is, yeah.
But then I was like, I don't know. I was also like, I think it's really helpful. And I kind of say it on a, weekly basis. Hey, Rosemary, you did this, maybe you could do this. And then it occurred to me, like, how would I take, but I think because you don't say it to me on a regular basis, it would be really awkward and weird because you'd be building up to give me this feedback. And I'd be like, not used to taking it. But like,
I know. I've
happy
actually
to take it if you give it to me on a daily basis.
No, but I've sometimes thought I should start, but I just like that. I feel like, I'd really have to think about, like, it would be a total shift in our dynamic. Do you know what I mean? That I'd have to think, what like unsolicited feedback could I give Beatrice today? I'd feel really awkward. I'd overthink, like, how can I say this in a nice way? Then I would say it in a really stupid way that you'd be like, why are you skirting around this issue? Like why do you think I'm going to get annoyed? And then you would get annoyed, and then we'd have a fight.
Yeah, but then we'd get over it. Like, and it's not like we've never fought over some of the unsolicited feedback I've given you. But also, I was thinking, like, when I actually solicit feedback from you, we end up having a row because, like, you go, oh,
because I'm crap. I know.
Oh, so I'm like, I don't think we're going to get to unsolicited anytime soon. If you can't even give me solicited, I go, what should I do here?
I know,
like,
I'm terrible.
I go, like, I think I behaved badly here, and I did. Should I?
I actually, you've no idea how much I hate those conversations. You call me sometimes, right, and I can tell. So you start into like, this happened, and you're talking really fast, and then at the end you go, so what should I do? And if you could see my face, I'm literally on the phone going, like, I don't know, like, trying to process all that's been said, and you're like, you're being really unhelpful, and I'm like, what?
No, it's not that the silence isn't unhelpful in and of itself. You go, oh, sounds bad, which just makes me go, it's worse than I thought. Like, it just compounds how panicked I am. Wait, excuse me. You need to answer the previous question.
Do I think that you think you're superior to me?
Yeah.
No, but actually I think you are superior to me in a lot. Like, I think you're better than me in a lot of ways.
But like, I could say the same about you, but like, I'd have to rack my brains. No, I'm joking. No, I could say the same thing too, but like, superior is a negative, has negative connotations. Maybe it's a hard word, right? Like, it's a loaded word. No, I'm not superior to Rosemary. Like, really, don't have my fingers crossed. I'm not. That's upsetting. That's a bad one. I hope you really don't think that one.
I don't think that one, but this person might.
God.
I assume you guys get over and resolve fights or squabbles with each other fairly quickly. It's true, because you make me.
I was just about to say, because I persist.
Yeah.
No matter what, I'm pinging you. Okay, so are we made up? Okay, are you still ignoring me? Okay, what's going on?
No,
hey,
sorry,
I've pinged you 4 times and called you.
Like, the last really big fight we had was that time we had the big fight over Ozark. Right?
What? I can't even remember this.
Do you remember your one in Ozark?
I can't even go, this makes no sense. So you are superior to me. We're both idiots.
So do you remember your one? Is it Laura Linney? Is that her name? Do you remember she tells her brother's girlfriend that her brother's bipolar and he hasn't told her? And you were like, I was like, she should never have told her that. And you were like, well, she had to know. And we had a big fight about this. It was stupid.
But that was not okay. Caused, like, what would you say, like, spurred on, I can't think of the word. This is why you're the writer. Come on, you're a superior writer. You're superior with words. Like, it wasn't about Ozark. It was about mental health. And so it was very close to both of our hearts.
Sorry, what was the
Prompted by.
Didn't we have another argument, like a really big fight on the phone one day about me saying some actor was a ride, basically, and you were like,
sounds familiar. Stop now.
You were like you're objectifying. Like, how is it okay to object? And I started talking about how, like, I justify objectifying men because they're not in a position. Anyway, they're not in a position of, like, inferiority. We had this big fight, but
back to racism. Back to why,
I was like, that big fight we had about The Rock.
Can't be racist.
I was
The
like,
Rock.
It wasn't The Rock, but it was like someone like that. But basically, if it was up to me, I would probably stew and fester and panic for days and days and days.
Oh, yeah. That's why Don. But that's why you and Don should be married.
No, We just
Because
would
like the
never
other
speak
night,
to each other.
oh no, the other night we started having. Oh, this is why I put all the pictures up in the bedroom that say "I love you, love, love, love." Because I was like, the two of us need to be staring at these nonstop. Otherwise, we get into bed and then we start rowing. I also read a thing the other day that said it was like an agony aunt, and it said, I have a really good tip for solving problems. It said myself and my boyfriend. I think I already mentioned this. Myself and my boyfriend make sure that we always, once we start rowing, we hold hands and stare into each other's eyes while we're rowing, so that like it's really hard to maintain an argument while you're holding hands with somebody.
Oh my God, that
I'm
sounds
going to do that with you and Don
awful.
from now on.
Yeah,
No, I
wouldn't
was
be
going
able
to
to
try
when
it
you're
today, but I
annoyed.
was so annoyed. I was going to, but I was so annoyed at Don. I didn't want to take his stupid hand.
That's exactly.
Anyway,
yeah,
we started
you'd be
having
too
a row.
annoyed.
I can't even remember what. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, but he'd be happily like, okay, good night, well, I'm going to bed. And I was like,
Same.
are you? Are you going to bed? I was like, well, we're going to talk about this. I said, like, we've got to talk about this. We've got to communicate.
I know that
So,
time.
see, that's
that
me.
time, like that time that we had that fight, you stormed off up to bed, and I like quietly like stormed off to my own bed after you, and then you literally stormed into the room after me, and were like, "Is that it? You just go to bed? We're not talking about this." And I was literally like, "What is happening?" But yeah, we do resolve fights because you make me resolve them. Okay.
Yeah, but I blame Julie because Julie's parents said you should never go to bed on a row. But obviously Julie never got the memo because she also would ignore me for days on end. And I'd be like up and down the apartment going, hello, are we not going to talk about this? Hello? You think that's fine? Like, I wouldn't really be resolving it. I'd still be continuing the fight. But like the idea is you work through it and then you get to the other end and then you're friends again.
Okay, well, there you go. Problem solving.
That's why I end up apologizing though most of the time. And you know what? It isn't good because I don't always mean it. I just want to resolve the argument.
Oh, well, I think I always apologize. No, I definitely don't always apologize first, and I will accept that. But I always apologize in an argument because even if I don't think I'm wrong, which frequently I don't, but even if I don't think I'm wrong, I'm sorry we had the fight. I'm sorry you're upset, and I'm sorry we're rowing. You know what I mean? I'm like,
oh my God, never say that while we're rowing. I'm sorry you're upset.
Okay, Beatrice, the last one. And I would like to point out, these are all the tame ones. We are going to get to the juicy ones on our Patreon, patreon.com/notwithoutmysister. Sign up to the Patreon. And on the Patreon this week, we will get to the juicy assumptions because these are all the tame ones. Here's the last. So there are two, but this is a double-hander because these are both from the same person, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Don't say anything until I'm finished. The first one says, Beatrice doesn't believe how good she is, right? And the second one from the same person says, Rosemary is very self-aware. And what this person is basically saying is, Rosemary is shit and knows it. And Beatrice is good and doesn't realise it. I couldn't have written this better. Like, what the hell?
I have to go to the bathroom.
I'm not even making that up.
Oh, it's my new favourite person.
Thank you all so much for listening to Not Without My Sister. Follow us on Instagram at Not Without My Sister, individually at Rosemary McCabe and at Beatrice McCabe with A's in our Mac. Or email us.
I should have sent those comments in. They were amazing. Thanks.
Email us, notwithoutmysis@gmail.com. And we'll catch you next time. Bye. Not Without My Sister is produced by Liam Garrity, sound and original music by Don Kirkland, and our original illustration is by Lindsay Nielsen.
I can't.
Not Without My Sister is a proud member of The Warren, the home of great Irish podcasts, as is my podcast, the Dublin Story Slam podcast. You can find them all over at thewarren.ie.